what I want to say tonight is welcome to our One Team, One Goal fundraiser. Roughly 2 years ago, the state directors of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Young Life, Child Evangelism Fellowship, and Youth for Christ began a journey of faith together. God's given the Hui Lokahi a unique DNA, a DNA that will allow us to work with students from kindergarten all the way to high school. So the reason it's important for the four organizations to work together is because we lack the funding and we lack the staff to accomplish the mission of sharing the gospel with every young person. But I believe together, God will bless the unity and we'll be able to reach more young people with the gospel and we'll be able to raise more funds to make that happen.
Aloha, I'm Daniel Rich with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I was approached by my pastor in a Bible study that the parachurch ministries should wrap together and work together. Well, that week I got a call from a guy named Dan at Youth for Christ. Hey, we should work together. So I was able to connect the dots and say, okay, Lord, I'm in. And it's been so beautiful to see the humility and the heart behind Dan to go, this is awesome, what we're each doing, but it's also hard. Wouldn't it be better if we moved together? What could we do? Some of the hardest things together. We could raise money, train people, and that's what I'm all bought in for. And we can't share the gospel everywhere. If we want to reach every student and let them hear the gospel before they graduate, it's going to take us working together and training people. The gifts of Matt, Dan, and Lane, and me coming together are going to make the strongest staff, the strongest volunteers, and the strongest youth. That we stoke each other on. Like in Hebrews 10, let us spur one another towards love and good deeds. God's put us together so we'll become mature and we'll equip the whole next generation to share the gospel across Hawaii and the Pacific.
Aloha, I'm Matt Walton, State Director for Child Evangelism Fellowship here in Hawaii. When Dan first approached me about becoming a part of Lokahi, I was excited about the prospect of seeing children from the elementary school be able to be connected with Youth for Christ or FCA or Young Life at the middle school and then on at the high school so that they can continue to grow in their faith. I was also excited about the opportunity for us to partner together across different schools, across different islands, to be able to encourage each other, to be able to challenge each other so that our strengths can be multiplied and our weakness can be minimized. And I'm looking forward to the future when we look back and see that this will be the new normal, that we won't be silos, we won't be organizations that are focused on our own little part of the island or part of reaching students for the gospel. I'm confident that when we look back on this season when Hui Lokahi was formed, that we will see that this was an important part of reaching more students than we ever could have imagined. With our emphasis on reaching every student on every campus with the gospel before they graduate high school. When you support Lokahi, you're supporting a vision bigger than any of one of our organizations on our own.
Aloha, my name is Lane Morikawa, and I am the Associate Regional Director for Young Life Hawaii. God has called me to youth ever since I graduated high school, and that's what I've been doing ever since, and I love it. I remember getting approached by Dan and Daniel and Matt, and they're talking about this Lokahi thing that they're trying to do, and I remember thinking, you know, I don't have time for that. But then they kept pursuing me, and so finally they came to Hilo and said, hey, we're in Hilo. I was like, all right, let's meet up. What I loved about meeting up with these guys, beginning to realize, hey, you know what? We're all in this together. We're all doing the same work. We're here because we have a heart for Jesus and a heart for youth. In that one meeting, it was like, wow, you know, it's like I got to gain a bunch of brothers in Christ, and we have the same mission, which is to reach the youth of Hawaii. When I think of the name Lokahi, it means unity, oneness, harmony. So it's a kingdom mindset. It's working hand in hand, walking side by side as we reach youth. And I love it that each of our ministries, we have different methodology and different things we do because together we can reach every kid in this state.
So in a dream, God asked Ezekiel if these dry bones could live. And I believe that God is challenging the Hui Lokahi and you to say, can these schools live again? Well, they certainly can, but they can't unless the students hear the gospel. And they're not going to hear the gospel unless somebody is sent to share the gospel with them. Simply said, the Hui Lokahi exists to raise enough funds to share the gospel with every student before they graduate high school.